Salvete omnes, this is I'm Amelia, also known as TheMartianGeek. And it's already 2013. Amazing. Well, we're starting off the new year with something just a bit different. Not terribly mainstream. And it has a lot of logos at the start. Yeah, three in a row, and then we find out we are playing Toy Story, a video game based off the movie. Copyright 1995, the same year the movie came out. And now we finally get to the main title screen, and press start. Yeah, there actually is voice acting in this game, a little. But this game was released on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. And if you happen to have one of those consoles and want to get it, well, go right ahead. But if you have both or neither and are wondering which version you should play, I'd still recommend the Super Nintendo version, personally. I may just be biased because that's the one I always played as a kid, that's the one I own. But honestly, I actually did play a bit of the Genesis version, and it seems like it's kind of a bit harder to play, and not really for good reasons. But anyway, here's the options menu, where you can do things like customize the controls. B always has to be jump in a 2D platformer. It's just, or whatever the equivalent of B is, like A on the NES and Game Boy Advance, or 2 on the Wii Remote. So, a number of lives that you start with. There's no reason to not go for maximum on that. And the storyline. I'm going to turn it off for this playthrough because, well, it's Toy Story. Everybody should have watched Toy Story as a child or something. Know how the story goes. If you didn't, well, you were kind of deprived. And you should pause this video right now and go on eBay or Amazon or something and go get yourself a copy of Toy Story. But anyway, that's about all I need to do there. Whoops. So, let's get on with the game. Start. Nice little effect there with the logo, Buzz Lightyear crashing through it. And since I turned off the storyline, we're up to level 1. Ordinarily, there would be a cutscene there. And yeah, we get the messages, objectives for the level on an Etch-a-Sketch. This one is called That Old Army Game, and we're supposed to open a bucket of soldiers, then locate the baby monitor and pass it down to the sergeant's troops. And then they meet us at the other baby monitor. Good luck, and watch out for the trains and planes. Oh dear. So here we are, level 1, in the bright sunny Andy's room. You can jump with B or A, and you can whip with Y or X. I personally prefer the second control scheme since I like to use Y for whipping. Whipping can help you against enemies like that. Wow, actually he didn't. I didn't know he could jump up there. But that train is an enemy, and if you touch it, you will take damage. You get 5 hit points, as shown in the upper left corner, and 5 lives, as shown in the upper right corner, because I set it to 5 lives. That plane obviously is also an enemy, and here's the bucket of soldiers we're supposed to open. Careful timing. And yeah, the helicopter is also an enemy, but you can just walk under that one. You can see the little army guys parachuting off the top. Now, you can whip the trains and stuff, and they'll be covered by the bonds or whatever you want to call them, and will be harmless, but they quickly escape them. So, just be careful. Only go past them while they're still tied up. And here's the baby monitor. Yeah, the balloons by themselves don't hurt you, but the marbles they explode into do. Now, I could just go complete the level right now if I wanted, but you know those stars I've been getting? Well, there are 50 of them in each level, and if you get all of them, you get a 1-up. So I try to do that in as many levels as possible. I can't do it in all of them, but I can do it in most of them. If you get 49 stars, you get 4 hit points, or at least you do if you only had 1. Otherwise, it'll just refill to maximum. If you get 48 stars, you get 3 hit points. 47, 46 give you 2 and 1. Anything less than 46 doesn't give you anything. Although it does still increase your total star count, and if you get 300 total stars, you get an extra continue. Same goes for 600. Mr. Potato Head there doesn't hurt you. And you might have noticed that hook I swung on. There are only one of those. Haha, I knew there was one train there. There's only one hook in this level, but there'll be a lot more of them in the future, trust me. Now, in the Genesis version, there is actually a 1-up here. There isn't in the Super Nintendo version, but in the Genesis version, you're limited to a maximum of 9 lives anyway. Whereas in Super Nintendo, you're limited to, well, as many lives as you can possibly get. I assume the maximum would be 99, but you can't possibly in any one playthrough get more than like 25 or so. This game also has no save points, which I kinda hate in games, but I can deal with it in this one. Just a few more stars to get, and we should be good. There's the second baby monitor, and it instantly ends the level when you touch that, if you've already taken care of the first one. 50 stars. Yeah, the extra lives in this game, the 1-ups, are shaped like Woody's hat. And now it's time for level 2, Red Alert. Help the other toys get to their places before Andy gets to his bedroom. Rex, Ham, and Robot need to go into the toy chest. RC, Car, and Rocky need to go under the bed, and you need to get onto the bed. Now this one is actually the first level with a time limit. What I tried to do is see if I can complete it in 80 seconds or less, or 80 units of time, so that I have at least 100 left when I get to the end. There's Robot there. And here's Rex. Ham is the slowest, Robot is the fastest, and Rex is somewhere in between. I don't think I've ever actually managed to complete it in 80 units of time, but... And you can see that my life count is now 6. Oh, I just barely made that. You get plenty of time to do everything you need to do, but it's just kind of fun to speedrun it. And that cost me a couple, dang it, seconds. Decent catchy music. Or decently, whatever. Also be careful, because you need to whip those things, the blocks away, in order to release the toys behind them, but if you whip them away before getting the stars, then you can't get the stars, because it's too high for you to jump. Yeah, you have to have Rocky push that bucket out of the way so RC Car can get by it. And here's the bed. I think my best time was having 98 seconds left. I'm not going to make that this time, obviously, because I spent too much time messing around with that one tennis ball, but yeah, like I said, you generally get plenty of time in that level, so... Although I should mention that if you mess up at the beginning, the part where you have to use the balloon to bounce them the toys into the toy box, if you do it too late or accidentally bounce them the wrong way, then you have to wait for them to walk all the way back after bouncing off a chair or whatever, or running into one. So that can cost a lot of time. So anyway, time for level 3, Ego Check. Try and keep up with Buzz to show that you are just as good a toy as him. Hint, try to swing on the hooks using your pullstring to cross the larger gaps. Yeah, see, I told you there would be more hooks later on. We don't actually have to keep up with Buzz, because Buzz always beats Woody to the end of the level anyway. But there's Buzz. Oh yeah, and there are a couple new enemies in this one. Sharks and... whatever the heck those things are. Bouncy clowns. You can still whip them to make them go down. And now my life count is 7. A lot of the hooks in the beginning you don't actually need. Now that pole right there is a checkpoint. If you die, you start back from the last checkpoint you hit, instead of at the beginning of the level. Also, this level actually has quite a lot of checkpoints. Probably more than any other, in fact. I think the keyword for this level is caution, and there's the third checkpoint. And here, you just kind of have to... not do that. Excuse me a minute. There you go. You just kind of have to trust to faith that you won't fall off the thing after bouncing up. Although I think you actually need to get a little bit of extra height from going from the previous platform. Now that star I just got gives you an extra hit point. I mean, it increases it by 1. I have not found a way to get that extra life without getting hit. So just take the hit and move on with my life. Now here's the part where you really want to start being careful, because these planes go back and forth and they have a big enough range that they go off screen, and you have to be prepared for when they come back. There's the 4th checkpoint, and more balls. I think those are actually tennis balls in the Genesis version. Making it a bit harder, and those hooks you have to use. You don't instantly die if you fall into the pit at the bottom, but you do take damage. Now in future levels it is instant death, so don't get used to just being able to shrug off the fall. Another checkpoint, and another shark, and another bouncy clown. I guess there isn't a whole lot of variety in this level. Yeah, pay attention to the vrrrring of the planes and try to keep in mind when they'll be coming back. Getting pretty close to the end now. This is a rather fun level, I must say. And there's the end, and you want to be careful to swing on that last hook to get those last 2 stars. And once again, I got all 50. Total stars 150, so I'm halfway to getting an extra continue. And the next level is Nightmare Buzz, but I'm gonna call it here because I figure I can split the game into 6 episodes of 3 levels each. Or 2. So, with that, we have a foothold on the game, and we'll move on to level 4 next time. In the meantime, well, see you next time.